Hello, this is Greg Alson with Green Grays coming to you on the 8th of January, 2021. And what a week this has been. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about all that in this video. This video I've devoted to a special topic that I promised you I'd bring to you. We're going to talk about the horned one. Yeah, Jake Angeli, the guy who was running around in the Capitol Hill. I'm going to show you some several pictures of him, and we're going to talk about him a little bit just because he stood out so much. He got so much attention, and it was just so unusual. I'm trying to use a charitable term here, that you know, and there were a lot of things said, and they weren't all correct about this individual and some of the people around him. So let's set the record straight a little bit. Now, there's still a lot we don't know, but the fog of war is clearing a little bit, and we can see certain things a little more clearly now. There's much more I'm going to say, though, on what went down and what more about what's coming up. I'm not going to talk so much about what went down. We're going to focus on what to expect next. There's going to be a lot of discussion about that coming up soon. And I will kind of hint at a little bit of it here, because there's a proposition on my channel to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And this comes to you as part of my eyes wide open, head on the swivel news. Now, this one is more of an entertainment value, maybe, than anything, but it's also informational. But I am wanting to give some hints to maybe a little bit of what's to come, but not so much in this video. I had actually hoped to do this video last night, but some other things came up instead. So, and I had planned to do some more of things to look forward to, but we still have a few days before the inauguration. And so we still got a little time to get a few things in here and talk about some very important things. But my friends, if you don't think now's the time to prep, where are you? If you don't think that you don't need to shore up your preps, wow. I'm glad you're so happy. That's all I can say. Wow. Jeez, guys, I'm not seeing anything pretty. A lot of people think, oh, well, now it's all over. Let all tamp down. No. When I'm seeing the fixes that people are trying to put in place, I'm going to tell you in a subsequent video that's just going to make things worse. That they're throwing fuel in the fire, from what I can see. And I hope I'm wrong. But the tensions are still out there, my friends. Our society is ripped apart. The tensions are fever pitch, and they're going up. They have gone up this week remarkably on both sides. Too much so. Too much so. That's why I tell you to get ready. Now, I've done videos. I say go back and look at the videos I've done on eating from the weeds and trees. And my gosh, that is free. You just got to pay attention to what you're doing. And bear in mind, I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not a plant botanist. So you might want to, if you don't know absolutely what you're eating, check with your local experts. You know, I always give you those disclaimers, and I also talk about medicinals, and I also tell you I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, not a botanist, but I do show you a lot of content about things that you can eat, things that are medicinal, but you're still going to need some more calories and some more protein and things like that than you might find typically, unless you're doing a lot of, you know, you got some other ways of procuring some of that, but the carbs may be your biggest challenge out in the woods. Can be solved somewhat. And we'll talk about that. All right, all these things said, I do have something that can help really tide you over while you learn to plant your garden, while you learn to do the wild foraging. And it's a great deal. Hey, we got $7 off right now, a 2-week supply of food that can get you by for 4 weeks. Hold on, I said 2 weeks. No, it's 4 weeks supply of food. 4 weeks, 1 month. It's good for 25 years. That's how long it lasts. Each one of these buckets is 2 weeks, but you get 2 of these buckets for the special price. Now you can get a 2-week supply also, which will be 1 of these. But for the $70 off, you get 2 of these. You can go to prepwithgreg.com. You'll see both options for 1 or 2. Prepwithgreg.com. It's 2,000 calories a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, desserts, and drinks to make you a winner. So it's a good deal. And it's got, you know, the things like the carbs and so forth. And you can also get veggie fruit packs options. You can also get protein pack options. And then there's the number 10 cans and everything else for years and years of you know, worth of food supplies. You can get a lot of these. The cool thing about this, though, is if you got a bug out, this is easy to carry because it's freeze dried. And you can open it up, put the pouches that's in here into your bug out bag. It's easy to carry. It's a lot easier to carry than cans. A whole lot easier. We'll talk about that in the future. I'll do a can video soon. I had already planned to do it, but just so much going on right now. So much going on. So we're going to get into what's going on. Oh, yeah. When you go to prepwithgreg.com, click on the My Patriot Supply logo within prepwithgreg.com, and you'll find links to all kinds of other prepping supplies. And all that said, you'll find that also in the show notes. And if you go down in the pinned comment notes below this video. All right. So let's kind of get into this. I'm going to do a share screen here. I'm going to start out with a PowerPoint file. You know, us engineers love PowerPoint. Something we use a lot, just presentation files. And let's see, let me blow this up. Yes, the horned one. Yeah, guys, what in the world? Are you kidding me? What? You got to be kidding me. This was in The Simpsons. The Simpsons saw this. You got to be kidding. I mean, what? The Simpsons saw this. I mean, look at this. Oh, I know what this is now. I got a better look at it. I blew it up. I can see what this is. I definitely see what this is. I knew what this was. And we're going to talk about all this and this gear and what it is, more than you might hear in other channels. And I even know what this is about now. Holy smoke. Now, you couldn't tell what this was from this. But look, this. Two raccoon tails. Two raccoon tails. I mean, what kind of hat do you wear two raccoon tails on? Fur here, fur here. No, that's not a Viking regalia. We're going to talk about that. But the Symbology wreath right here is. That's the only thing he's got that's Viking or Nordic or Germanic in origin. But holy smoke, guys. Yeah. The Simpsons. How did they see this? Did he see this cat before they did his cartoon? Did this cat see this cartoon and emulate it? Well, I don't know. That's a big stretch, especially with all the bricks tattooed in. I don't know, guys. I don't know. When was this done? You know, it's a little research, somebody might figure that one out, but holy smoke. Yeah. Well, guess what? The Simpsons foresaw something else coming up real soon. So, you know, the Simpsons seem to have had some history for being able to predict the future. Of course, they didn't see any cartoon episodes. You know, you got to get some right every now and then. A broke clock's right twice a day, right? But they had a real uncanny run at it. So guess what else they're showing? This is the 20th of this year by the Simpsons. Really? Doomsday. They're showing the inauguration day being holy. Well, I don't know. They might be right on this one. They might just be right. I don't know about these robots running around, zapping everything, but yeah, it might look kind of like that. Jeez. So here we go. I've shown this picture before, and we've talked about some of these things. We got this wrong. I'll give it credit for that. We got that wrong. So what are these guys? What is the deal here? Who is the horned one? Well, we're going to go in it. We're going to go all in. What is all this stuff? We're going into all of that. And no, that's not. Everybody says he looks like a Viking, and he's been called a Viking because of his headgear. That's not a Viking headgear, but he's wearing something that is Viking. We'll go into that. Yeah. Wow. What crime has this guy actually committed? Trespassing, leading people in, maybe all that, but mainly opening his mouth. I think this is his biggest crime right here, is opening his mouth, walking around, posturing. You know, he walked around, he postured, opened his mouth. I don't know that he took anything or broke anything or scuffled with anyone. Maybe somebody's got video of that. I kind of doubt it. I don't think that's his style, because I know a little bit about him now. I think he's just posturing and being seen. So yeah, when I saw this picture, it dawned on me what he was wearing, what all this symbology was, because this one was a clear shot. When I saw this, I know what these things are. I already knew what this was, but that stuff wasn't as in focus. That is supposed to be Thor's hammer. But this stuff is not Viking. Well, what is it? Well, we're going to show you. Oh, yeah, here he is in Arizona doing one of his little demonstrations that he was off to do there. He called himself, so let me tell you about it. He calls himself the QAnon Shaman, the QAnon Shaman, and he also goes by Yellowstone Wolf. Yellowstone Wolf and the QAnon Shaman. And some people say he's in what they've described what he's into as conspirituality, being a kind of a conflab of QAnon conspiracy theory and New Age wellness trends or whatever. So he's got both going on, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, and he had this Starseed. Yeah, he had a YouTube channel that's gone. It was taken down. I think even before this stuff happened. This is another YouTube channel that's covering him here. He got covered on a couple different YouTube channels. So let's look at this some more. This is what that headdress looks more like. He says he's a shaman, QAnon shaman. He says he is a Yellowstone wolf. Well, he does symbolize the Indian regalia quite a bit. And this is the closest thing, a horn furry helmet. This is a Sioux shaman, as this is also a Sioux shaman, medicine man you might want to call him. These are Sioux Indian shaman. This guy has got the elk antlers, and this guy has got some buffalo horns. But you can see he's got the fur hat, and he's got feathers hanging down. Well, you know, a white boy is not permitted to have eagle feathers. An Indian may now, but a raccoon tail is a different matter. So maybe that's the closest thing. This is the closest thing he can get to that. See what I'm saying? So he's got the raccoon pelt, raccoon tails. He does paint his face. So that is the closest thing maybe he can get to being the Sioux shaman. Like I say, he calls himself the QAnon shaman or Yellowstone wolf. Now this spear, yeah, it looks something more like maybe a Viking would have carried or a Roman, not an Indian. So there he is, and you can see him without all this stuff on. Yeah, he don't have no head of hair, except on his chinny chin. So yeah, you can see he's got the dream catcher behind him, a peace pipe to a tomahawk, so you can chop somebody's scalp off or smoke a peace offering with them. Maybe a bear claw over here. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a bear claw, maybe a tambourine, and a smoke detector. So this is the guy right here without his face paint, without his headdress on. That's what he actually looks like in normal life. Oh, yeah. So let's talk about symbols here. Here's one of his compasses. You know, that looked like a hammer and sickle to a lot of people. Well, actually, this comes from a video game. It's called the Outsiders. And it's called the Dishonored Outsider symbol or tattoo that this guy is wearing here. And there's other people that also wear this tattoo. It's got to do with the video game. It's not a hammer and sickle. So I stand corrected on that one. That one I missed, called, but I did not know that symbol. That's not a symbol I knew. But when I saw this picture, I go, oh, I know what all this is. I'm going to tell you exactly what these two symbols are here. This is Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil. It sounds like pig. Yggdrasil. Excuse me. Yggdrasil. That is the world tree from Viking mythology. I'll show you another picture of it. And the other's a Vulcanite. I'll show you that too. Now, see, here's where a lot of people were speculating that he was, in fact, Antifa because he had been in an Antifa event. But if you saw the entire thing, he's actually got a QAnon sign with him saying QAnon sent me. So this guy is not Antifa. This guy, I have no idea who these other people are. I've got a notion they were just like followers of his, but because they all kind of hung with him. There were a lot of different people in the Capitol Hill, though. A lot of different people and a lot of different groups. We do know that some were pro-Trump. This guy seems to be pro-Trump, but he's definitely cut out of a different cloth, let's say. cut out of a different cloth. But there were, it said there were Antifa people there. If you go to Millennium Millie's channel on YouTube, she's got quite a few interviews with quite a few people. There's also, I've seen quite a few testimonies of people saying from other video snips, numerous testimonies of people saying that they saw busloads of QAnon people being busted, escorted in by the Capitol Hill police. And that those were the individuals inciting things, asking people to come on. And in fact, they claim they got a lot of video of people that was asking them not to do it and trying to block them. Interesting. Oh, this is also something that Mr. Yellowstone Wolf, the QAnon shaman, sees and takes pictures of. He believes the universe shows him hints of things to come. So he looks in the clouds and he sees a kneeled soldier with a backpack and a bang bang here, and another guy here kneeled down beside him with a bang bang here, a bang bang there, a bang bang everywhere, a bang bang. Old Mick soldier had a cloud, E-A-E-O. I don't know. So, you know, that's what kind of message he gets out of that. I don't know. That's kind of a scary thought. Anyway, so let's get out of the this shit here. You know, guys, this guy got all this attention. Why? Because he looked unusual. So I get all the attention. You know, more people need to look more normal like me, right? All right, hang on, guys. Jeez. So, you know what's crazy? I'm going to tell you a little story. I show this a couple other things here. Where is it? I want to go. That's my PowerPoint. What's going on here? I want to go to here. Here he is on Laura Eisenhower's YouTube channel, apparently. If this video's not on her channel now, this was actually replayed by Diamond of the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Go check his channel out. He covers a lot of interesting topics, including he's living up in Augusta Springs and he's doing farming, permaculture. He's got him a greenhouse up there, and he's building a earthship house. And he also talks about the climate and quite a few other things. So, and he's also got a channel, Magnetic Reversal. He got this video from Dr. Roy Spencer. And I actually looked on Dr. Roy Spencer on our Facebook friends. Dr. Roy Spencer is the one that gave me my current perspective on climate. He taught me out what I believed previously, personally, face to face. So, and I've been, we've been exchanging a few things recently over all this stuff. He surfaced this, but this is not on Laura Eisenhower's channel anymore. Who is Laura Eisenhower? She is the granddaughter of President Ike Eisenhower. And she does some videos that are kind of, shall we say, interesting. Something that, I don't know, Rex Bear may have had her on his channel, maybe a few times. So this guy is in here talking about spirituality, those kind of things. So it's interesting, but this guy was in the Navy. Now I say, here's what I've heard. I hear so many stories about him. First I heard he was Antifa. Then I heard, oh no, this guy is a Marine, and he's really going around spying on BLM and Antifa. He's got cameras in his horns, and he's an intel operative in the Marine Corps. No, he's not. No, he's not. He is a former naval individual. He was in the Navy. He got out. He got into some psychedelic mushrooms and drugs, but he tries to use them in a spiritual sense. So he's more into the shamanistic experiences and so forth, whatever that means. You interpret for however you want to. These bricks were supposed to be symbolizing the border walls, believe it or not. So that's interesting. This guy is, he's interesting. He's not your normal Trump supporter. He is a Trump supporter, but not your normal Trump supporter. Then Trump has supporters that aren't normal Trump supporters. Some knuckleheads will call me abnormal, but nah, come on. All right, so let's go in and look at a couple of other things here. I'm going to talk about the symbology, the stuff on him, okay? This is the vault net. This is an ancient Germanic symbol. It goes back in antiquity and has been since associated with Odin. See, Germanic paganism. We are in Wikipedia, and I'll show you some other pictures of it, where it's been used in history, and they find it in pottery and other places. Now, it's said that some people thought he was wearing that triangle that's a man-boy love association triangle. No, that's not what this is. It's not even close. Now, that other triangle is a line that just keeps spiraling in triangle form. That's not what this is at all. And this is definitely what he's got on his chest. Now, some people claim that this is a symbol used by white racists, white supremacists, that it states that they're willing to die for the cause. Well, I don't know. Maybe some do that. Now, see, there's a lot of appropriation where groups will appropriate a pre-existing symbol. And unfortunately, I think they run a lot of symbols that way. And things that might mean something to one person doesn't necessarily mean it to another. I've seen this symbol used by people, and I've seen it on a vehicle around here, which is a real pious guy who carries a symbol around. I don't think it all has those kind of aspirations. So just because you see a symbol like this doesn't necessarily mean that it is racist. And I would say the same thing with anything that's associated with the Nordic way of thinking. It doesn't mean it's racist. A lot of people are trying to make a lot of different associations now. It doesn't mean that racist people wouldn't use it. You know, racist people brush their teeth too, right? Well, maybe. Maybe. All right. This is Yggdrasil. 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 See, this is the world tree. This is central to the Nordic faith, the Nordic mythology. I say Nordic, really old German, which predates the Nordic. You know, the Nordic peoples descended out of the Germanic peoples, or at least some think that this tree had its root structures and its branches, in which there's dragons and all kind of critters running around. And the 9 worlds of the Nordic mythology are all found in the world tree. The world tree is also known because Odin, the Allfather, sacrificed himself unto himself by spearing himself. Yeah, he was speared in the side and sacrificed, hung from a tree. Kind of like Jesus Christ, right? With a spear in the side and hung from a tree, except he used his own spear, Gungnir, and he hung from Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil is the tree, a tree of life, in essence, that branches interdimensionally the 9 worlds of the Nordic mythology. But he sacrificed himself unto himself to gain wisdom and knowledge. That was the purpose that Odin had in this, and he was, as he was hanging from the tree for 9 days and 9 nights, he would not allow anybody to feed him or give him any water or any help. And so he had to prove himself, his worthiness to gain certain knowledge. And through that, he gained, this is all according to mythology. Now, that's not Greg Allison saying this is what happened. This is the story. He gained insight into runes and what they meant. And the runes are the Nordic alphabet, but also each rune has meaning. It's like a spell, a magic spell. Each one has their own magic spell. So they have magic and alphabet all in one. So you see the Nordic writing on some things. Here's some other versions, artwork of the world tree. Well, his version looks, I don't know, kind of like that. It might be a little bit different. But, you know, when I saw it at the distance, it looked like a skull with just 2 eyeballs. But because I couldn't see it good. All that looked black to me. I didn't see it had tree branches in it until I saw that other picture. But when I saw the tree branches, I go, oh, I know what that is. And so there you are. Now, this other thing, this outsider's mark, right here it is. This is the outsiders dishonored, whatever that means. I'm not into gaming, so that is beyond what I know. I'm gonna get out of that because I don't want to be showing you pictures for the benefit that might get me stricken on this platform. So there you go. That's kind of weird. It's interesting. He's out there. He follows this QAnon stuff, and maybe some of the allegations made by QAnon may have some merit to them. I said may. The prescriptions of things that I think the whole thrust of QAnon was a psyop. And I've said this for a while. I've been saying this. And here's why. QAnon kept telling everybody that everything's going to be taken care of. There's all these indictments. There's going to be all these mass arrests just any moment now. And it started with a few hundred, a few thousand, thousands. There's going to be thousands of mass arrests. Then became tens of thousands, 70,000, 80,000. And it's any minute now we're going to do all these mass arrests. And this was going on for almost 4 years, at least 3. And in the process of all this, the president got in all kind of trouble. He was impeached, and this happened and that happened. I mean, he was putting there was all kind of heat on him. Yet none of these things came to pass. It's like there was truth in this that would have been used to prevent these other things from happening, but it didn't happen. It kept not happening, And now we've got a certified election that does not have him being POTUS again. Now, some of you will point out to me, Greg, he is not conceded. He came close to it. He's almost conceded. Some people interpret that as a concession speech. He says there will be an orderly transition of power. Now, some people think that means that his power and his next administration will be set up in an orderly fashion. That's the way some people are interpreting that. They think there's going to be a coup. At this point, it probably would be a coup, unless you believe that the other side staged a coup and that's how they got what they got. I'm saying in case you believe this or that. I'm not saying it is this or that. Don't put words in my mouth. People are real good at doing that. And I can't afford to do that on this platform. So I'm not taking a side or saying what it is or what it is not. Or as we say here in the South, ain't. What it ain't, what it is or what it ain't. I can talk either way. I can talk without saying ain't, or I can say ain't. I grew up on a farm, but I'm an aerospace guy. So here's the odd thing. Actually, I was going to do this video last night. And one of my friends who did me a great favor at LeakCon a couple of years ago, and took me gave me a long lift to someone else's house. It was going to take me to the airport from the conference. And you know, he's been real nice to me on several occasions. And he actually last summer said, he calls me up or texts me or something, said, Greg, I'm doing a special for the 4th of July, and I'd like for you to give me some video on freedom. I love it. It's great. You've seen me. I'm always talking about freedom on here. Yeah, heck yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's great. I love it. And so this guy does a lot of mix of music and psychedelic kind of stuff. You know, his channel is 420 Freedomist Films, Freedomist TV. I think he changes a little bit from time to time. He just keeps getting knocked off the platform and coming back. But he does quite a music mix. It's really interesting, really interesting. I think it's good. It's very patriotic, So he had in this video, he had Rex Bear, Diamond, whose channel the video I just showed, and also David Devine. David Devine, you may know, does the 2030. I'll get brain lock. And he's got a channel he does about food shortages, and he does videos about the climate quite a bit. David Devine does, and I've had David Devine on my channel, and hope to have him again soon. So check David Devine out if you get a chance. Most of you probably already subscribed to him. A lot of you are. So all right, all that said, I got watching that video instead because I knew there was a lot of good material in there, and I wanted to try to record it. And I thought because I liked it, the way he mixed it is a lot better. He's really good at doing videos, way better than me. I am. Ransom is, and he's only got a few hundred subscribers. It's not really. He is really good at mixing video, putting in all these effects. All these effects. I thought, wow, and I said some really good stuff on it. I mean, some really good stuff. Now it's like 2.5 hours, and I'm just interspersed occasionally here and there between the music and all kind of other stuff. But when I get in there, I'm punching. I'm talking about freedom, man, and I'm really putting it out there. So you get a chance, maybe I can put the link below here later. But it's an interesting video. It goes on and on and on, but it's entertaining. It's got entertaining music and visuals, and it's very patriotic. But in the time, it felt right. That's why I watched it last night, because kind of depressed with everything going on, and it's talking about freedom, and he titled it "Unarmed Citizens' Lives Matter." You go figure what that means. Yeah, you know. Interesting. So there you are. That occupied my time last night, and then I got a wild hair since I bought property in Arizona. I've been wanting to do it for a while. I actually watched Raising Arizona last night, one of my favorite movies. So I watched Raising Arizona, and of course, you know, he's been booked into Tempe, Arizona. Nicolas Cage's character in the show, he was played a character called High, and he keeps getting booked into Tempe, Arizona, into jail. And of course, this QAnon shaman showed up a lot in Tempe, Arizona, and all this stuff just started binging around in my head, and I just had this premonition. It's like, uh-oh, I'm gonna cross paths with this guy. I'm gonna run into him, you know. So it just dawned on me, you know, it's just probably going to happen. I'm gonna be in Arizona. I'm gonna be involved in things. I'm gonna be out in the public, like I am wherever I go, and so it's probably just going to happen. So it's gonna be interesting if he's not in prison, serving 20 years for walking around talking with his mouth wide open. You know, yeah, there's threats of some long-term punishments of them making examples out of people going up there. So there's that. So I don't know. I might run into this guy. If I do, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know, I do, you know, ancestrally, I'm Viking. Okay. That guy, probably not. He's wearing all that. He's not dressed like a Viking. That's what everybody thinks. They're like, oh, look, he's a Viking. No. Vikings didn't wear fur hats. They wore, you know, helmets, at least when they were in combat. Now, they might have wore a fur hat to stay warm, but not a foxtail. It didn't look anything like that. And they didn't wear horns. That's the opera. That's the opera of the Vikings. So no, they didn't wear the horns. They had helmets, and you know, it was a little different. They had the, you know, metal steel pot. It wasn't steel, but you know, they had the metal helmets. So there you are. I just found that interesting, and you know, because I do have the Viking ancestry. As you know, I believe in a greater creator. Okay, so I don't get all bent out of shape, but I do wear some Viking religious memorabilia myself. My son gave me that. So that is Odin, by the way. Riding Schleppnir, his 8-legged horse, carrying his spear, Gungnir. All right, there we are. That's why I recognize Viking symbology when I can see it. But that thing looked like a black, you know, in the Simpsons, it looked like a black sunflower, you know, petals around. But what he was wearing, like he had 2 eyeballs until I could actually see it had branches and roots. And oh, I know what that is. And I thought at first it was like one of those Mexican death cult things. I can't remember the name of it. That's what it looked more like to me. They use skulls a lot in their stuff. And their skulls don't always look like skulls as we see them. They're kind of, so at first that's what I thought that was, until I saw the clear picture and go, oh, there's branches, there's roots. Yikes. So everybody was calling him Viking and was doing it for the wrong reasons. One, he's not Viking, as far as I know. He might be, but as far as I know, I don't know of him having that kind of ancestry. He might, but his regalia, his headdress, has nothing to do. That's a shamanistic headdress, and he does identify as a shaman. That's where the headdress comes from. So everybody's identifying him as a Viking because of the headdress blew it. Yet he was wearing what the symbology he was wearing. They were ascribing that to Man-Boy Love Association, all kind of other stuff. It's not that. That is actually Viking. So you know, I'm clearing the air. I'm clearing it out. I think the guy has, you know, mistakenly followed QAnon and really took it to the heart. He really went way out there with it. What crimes did he commit? I don't know. I have no idea. All that, you know, the system will be the judge of that. I haven't seen him other than the fact he was walking around. Walking around in the Capitol building was a crime. But guys, the cops let a lot of people in. There's a video where they open the door and cops are standing by the door and guys are just walking through. They let people in the Capitol building. And maybe I'll show that video in another video just to prove it. I've actually seen that. And I've seen also a video on Dahmer's channel where they're waving people. So, yeah, they resisted at first. And there was a cop, I believe his name was Slicknick, who died from injuries he received to his head. Yeah, he apparently got hit in the head with a fire extinguisher, and he got up and went back to work, went to the police station, and then he died. Well, concussions work that way. You know, you take a blow to the head, you might think you're fine at first. You might get up and do stuff. It's happened a lot of times. People get up and they'll do stuff and they're in serious trouble and don't know it. You get a blow to the head. You better do some serious thinking and have people watch you very closely, because you may have to deal with that. It may take very fast, immediate action. That was a tragedy. But you know, I also saw in I believe it was in Kenosha, or however you say it. I'm not from Wisconsin. When they had the peaceful protest, a guy get the crap beat out of him. If I remember right, he was in the door of his business trying to protect his business. Old man getting beat up by a bunch of young guys. And I think one of them was beating him with a fire extinguisher. But that was a peaceful protest. Okay. Well, there's the flames licked up behind him. I didn't see any flames in DC, but that's another story. So I'm going to come back and talk about these things down the road. But I got to be careful how I do it. You know, I got demonetized and age restricted on the previous video, a couple of videos back. So it's not my intention to say things are inflaming people. It's not my intention to show things that are gross. But this whole thing grosses me out. I'll be honest. This whole thing grosses me out. But I don't see a pretty way out of where we're at. Reactions to it from. All right, there's so much to talk about. I'm not getting into it now. There's just so much to talk about. It deserves videos to dissect it, piece by piece, not one. You can't put it all in one video. Well, you can, but it's too much. It's too much, really. But, you know, talking about the horn one, that's kind of light. You know, this is entertainment. And we need a little entertainment value on a Friday night. It's really late now. We need a little entertainment value on a Friday night after all the stuff we just sweated through. So I thought I'd just give you a little levity before we bore into the more serious topics of what's coming at us. And yeah, we got some serious things coming at us, no matter what. No matter what. It's not going to be pretty. No matter what. So just want y'all to be prepared. I'm not trying to incite anything at all. It's not my purpose. My purpose is to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. I keep telling you that. And some people, Greg, you don't ever choose sides. Well, I try not to play a hand here because I'm trying to appeal to everyone. I got people from both sides of the aisle who follow me because I do gardening and worm farms and things like that. I'm a libertarian. But here's where I do stand. I'm going to tell you where I stand. I stand firm on it without any waiver. My liberties. And if you are a person or an ilk or from a group, and there's people in both parties are guilty of this, both primary parties today, maybe even libertarians sometimes too. But if you're in here and you're trying to take away my rights, I'm not going to be in favor of you. And there's one right in here that I'm particularly fond of. There's a couple of them. One of them in the 9th Amendment, which says anything not given to us in here is ours. They don't at all interpret that way anymore. But there's another amendment in here that I think gives me means to guarantee that I have the power to ensure I got the rest of the amendments covered. It's my means of self-sovereignty. It's the second one on the list there. You know what that amendment is? It's saying that certain things should not be infringed. I will not support anybody that's against that. Never. And I will vote against them. Always. And I will vote for someone to vote against them. The one I think is most likely to win. Whether or not they overall are a person I would normally support. Because that's how important I think that right is. So if you want to know how I go, now you know. And I will support that. What it takes to support this. I am about freedom. I am about freedom, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. That is where I stand. And I'm not particularly happy with either of the political parties right now. So just bear that in mind. But I'm not alone in that category. Far, far, far from it. Now, my take on this, we can handle a lot of that, maybe, possibly, although might be a diminishing hope, handle a lot of this through things like established sanctuary states, organizationally, by appealing to legislatures and the Congress. So I've started the Freedom Restoration Foundation. And we're already having some good impacts here in Alabama, dealing with certain representatives to make sure that certain things, that we have some rights vis-a-vis certain things that are, if you don't want it, certain things, certain liberties. We're having some pretty good success. We're making some headway there. We've got a whole list of bills that are related to that. Everything in the Congress. We got it all enumerated. And for my item number 2, we got some things we're looking at there too. And also, we got a guy, he's probably going to be taken on Facebook. He's one of our officers. And he actually ran for Congress as a Democrat in Oregon. He didn't get nominated. He ran as a Democrat. Now let's see. So that's interesting. So we have people of different political parties, but we have one unifying theme: freedom. Absolute freedom. Freedom. We believe in it. That is the most valuable thing. And one day, if we don't protect it, we'll all be Uyghurs. You'll be a Uyghur, I'll be a Uyghur, your kids will be Uyghurs. If you know what I'm talking about. If we don't act to protect our freedoms. I'm not inciting anything. No, I said act. What I'm talking about here is all legal. Okay? I have never condoned anything illegal. So don't put words in my mouth. Don't overinterpret things, as so many people are apt to do. If you feel like you need to do other things to preserve your freedoms, that's your business. I am not in the business of promoting or advocating those kind of things. Okay? So there's a will, there's a way. I believe we have a way. I hope we have a way. But I've also done a lot of videos talking about where I think all this can go. And I really think that the odds of a civil war in this country have just in the past couple of days shot up immeasurably, even with things going on today. Yeah, even things happening today on the 8th are increasing the probability of that. A lot of things that people think they're doing to put a control on things, put a cap on things, are going to make it worse. That's my opinion, and that's another video. So stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Bang the update notification bell and click off so you can get notifications from other videos. With all that said, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Goodbye.